Hey, Shalom Mashal. Want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadosh. Double honors to the apostles, all great most and honors you brothers doing work, the most in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh, his real name of whom the Lord ignorantly calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh, his real name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shah. And when we pray Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Ba meaning in, Her meaning then, Shah meaning name, so Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. It's a quick one. I was watching Apostle Ramlab's video earlier on where he mentioned the which he just touched on the Constitution, right? And basically, I was when I heard that, I was listening. I was like, wait, there, the Constitution. That was a letter that basically E wrote for other E. The E wrote it for other Edomites, right? Right, when you hear statements about all men and men this that and the other, right, that was written for Edomites, right? So for instance, you got this in the Declaration of Independence, right? It says 17 July 4th 1776, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But this wasn't the case for Jake that were in chattel slavery. No, in fact, Esau had his had his foot on our necks during this period of times. He had a yoke of iron upon us at this period of time. Right? So when these devils were writing this, they weren't considering Jake, right? And in contrast, right, when you read certain scriptures, right, and it's talking about, all men, this, that, and the other, that's because it was addressing who it was addressing. It was addressing the Israelites that the letter was penned to, right? And just like how in this world you got certain Jakes that, think that the Constitution is for them and whatever, what have you, right? They're trying to budge themselves in. You got certain individuals trying to budge themselves into this thing of ours, but that ain't the case, right? This is a list of amendments to the U.S. Constitution. I was just trying to, find something interesting. But what I did find interesting in here, which I didn't know, is there are 33 amendments total to the U.S. Constitution, which once again we know, we know all that is about, right? It says, I think it says 27, right, were ratified and 6 have not been ratified, right? But all in all, there are 33, and they were listed before. But then I would quote one of them is the Eighth Amendment, right? So the Eighth Amendment to the United States prohibits the federal government from imposing excessive bail, excessive fines, or cruel and unusual punishment. Right, this amendment was adopted on December the 5th, 1791, along with the rest of the United States Bill of Rights. The amendment serves as a limitation upon the federal government to impose unduly harsh penalties on criminal defendants before and after conviction, right? So it says the prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment has led courts to hold that the Constitution totally prohibits certain kinds of punishment, such as drawing and quartering. Now, you look at what Jake was still going through, man, right? You have that which was written, and that which, rather, that which was recorded in the record books, and that which wasn't recorded in the record books, about the hell that Jake, suffered by the hand of these devils, right? Look at the unfair trial, that, if you could even call it that Emmett Till received. Was it Emmett Till? Yeah. I mean, there was several Jakes. This is the thing. There were several Jakes that befell the same punishment, right? The same thing where 1 minute things are cool, and then the next thing you got a whole pack of Edomites coming to see you get killed, right? These devils were taking a train rides, right? It was a big family day out to watch an Israelite man getting hung, getting burned, right? Getting his rod chopped off. Now you tell me that ain't cruel and unusual punishment, but guess what? That's because this was never written for Jake, right? So as such, the good things written in the scriptures, they weren't written for Esau. This is Amos 3:2. It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Right, therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities. So that's why Esau was able to do those things to us, right? Because we were given into his hand, right? Let me just grab this real quick. One sec. So let me just pause while I find. This is Zechariah 1 and 15, right? It says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they held forward the affliction, right? So although Israel was delivered into the hands of the heathens, for example, Esau, right, the heathens went too far with the affliction, right? So we were given into your hands, but you went too far, and you're going to be judged for going too far. The Lord is not going to let you get away scot-free. Right, so but the point that I wanted there was you only have unknown of all the families of the earth, right? Because the Lord is only dealing with the children of Israel, right? That's how it was always been, and that's how it'll always be, right? This is sorry, literally just escaped me. I had a precept just in my mind. Yeah, that's the one. In contrast, that you have let me get the account in Ezra's instead, right? This is Second Ezra 16. And just looking at 6 from around 54, right? It says, and after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, right? So people say, yeah, we all come from Adam. You're right, we do all come from Adam. However, there is a distinction that is about to be made, right? It says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, right? Because you have, all of the nations. Well, really, you've got three classifications of men, right? You've got the, the sons of the wicked, right, which is the Edomites, so-called white man. Then you've got the sons of men, which is these heathens, right, and then you have, the sons of God, the Israelites. Okay, but even in the sons of God, right now, you've got, the chosen of the sons of God. You've got the elect amongst them, the elect of the elect. Okay, and obviously, we hope to be of, the elect of the elect. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Right? As for the other people, right now this is quoting Isaiah 40 and 15, right? It says, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Right? So these heathen nations, the Lord don't care about them. The Lord accounts them as spittle, right? However, well, I mean, that's the point, really, isn't it? They are, they are currently lords over us, as I was about to say, but they are nothing, right? Let's grab that real quick. It's Ecclesiastes 10 and 7, right? It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth, right? And, but horses represent power. Who are these servants? The ultimate servant is Esau, the so-called white man, right? It says Daniel 4:17. This matters by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Right? Because in the kingdom, we're going to look back, we're going to look at this devil, we're going to be like, yo, you used to rule the world, but he is the basis of men. Right? But that is to show the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And show the power that he is able to control, to control the world in such a way that Esau, the basis of men, right, is able to have rulership over the world, to have the whole world in darkness while blinded, right? So yeah, I mean, it says, I have seen servants upon horses. So the Lord has put Esau up in a position of power, right? And he's lowered Jake, right? It says, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. The Lord has brought Jake to a very, very low level, right? So yeah, that was it on that. Let's grab some precepts down here, right? This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth, right? So the Lord has basically chosen Israel, right? I'm not complaining, right? That's just the way the Lord chose, right? But if you were to pick any nation, if you described, I think I forgot who said this, but I believe I heard this from somewhere else, but I forgot who said it. So Salakia, right? But someone was making the point. I believe it may have been one of the apostles, right? That if you described what an Israelite is to someone who was on, would you call it, who was not from this world, roughly, like I said, I forget who said it, I forget exactly how it was said, but the point was, if you described an Israelite to someone out of this world, right, and then you ask them to identify who it is, or who these people, the Israelites, who they would be today, they would choose us, right? Because the Lord has basically made us into this, into this great nation, right? Because at the end of the name, we have His name. It's just at this point in time, right? We made His name look bad. For instance, that's what it says in Ezekiel the 36th chapter, right? The Lord is saving us not for our sakes, right? But to restore the glory on His great name's sake, right? See what else we want to pick up, right? It says read Amos. Let's read Sirach. So Sirach 17 and 18. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion, whom, being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him. Right? This is 2 Ezra 5:27. It says, and among all the multitudes of the people. In fact, let me read into this episode slightly, right? Because this one is just going into the different things that the Lord loves, right? 2 Ezra 5:23, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof thou hast chosen thee only one vine, right? And of all the lands of the world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily, and of all the depths of the sea thou hast filled thee one river, and of all the builded cities thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself, and of all the fowls that are created thou hast named thee one dove, and of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, right? And unto this people whom thou lovest, right, thou gavest a law that is approved of all, right? And now, O Lord, why hast thou given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root hast thou prepared others? Why hast thou scattered thy only one people among many? Right? So it's showing you that the Lord, right? The Lord loves Israel, man, right? And He's punishing us, right? The Lord right now we're just going through a punishment period because of our own transgression. This is Micah 7 and 9. Right? It says, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to light and I shall behold his righteousness. Right? So we're in this predicament that we're in, right? Because we have sinned against the Lord. But guess what? The Lord has always always designed it such that we would be joined back unto him. That was the whole point. That was the whole reason Yahushua came on the scene. Right, it says Matthew 1:21, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, that he shall save his people from their sins. Right, so our Lord didn't die on the cross, right, to save save some damn Edomite Romans. No, when the scriptures talk about, say, the Romans, right, it's talking about the Israelites that are in Rome, right? This is Romans 1 and 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of the Most High, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from the Most High Father and the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Right, so one that is unlearned is going to go, you see, The Romans. No, but once again, who was this letter written to? Just like how the Constitution, right, was written to Edomites, right? These letters, these scriptures were written to the Israelites, right? This is Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me. What did we just hear say? Called to be saints, right? Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, right? So here we can see who this is actually talking about. This is talking about Israelites, right? I'm just grab one more. It's Romans 9. I'll start from 3. It says, "For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the and the services of the Most High, and the promises," right? Whose are the fathers, and of whom concerning the flesh Yahweh Mashiach came, who is overall God blessed forever. Amen. So what we're reading here, right, is further proof that Yahweh only came for the children of Israel. That when Paul is writing a letter to the Romans, he was writing a letter to the Israelites, right, that are in Rome, right? So when you're reading, scriptures where it says, all nations shall be saved, it's talking about Israelites in those nations, because who was it addressed to? Right, it was addressed to the Israelites, just how Esau addressed this statement. For instance, all men are created equal. He was talking about Edomites. He wasn't talking about Jake. If he was talking about Jake, why was Jake in chattel slavery during these times? So as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till next time we say Shalom.